Hello everyone, my name is Nuvola and welcome to a new video. Today we're building a basalt farm. Pretty niche farm, but it provides you with a very cool building block that you can use in various ways. We're building the farm inside of this huge volcano behind me. You can use the volcano for pretty much anything you like. Today I'm going to show you how to build a basalt farm inside of this. I've tested the farm out in both Java and Bedrock edition, and with some minor differences which I'll show you in the video, you can get it working in both versions. The farm itself is maybe not the most productive way to get tens of thousands of basalt a minute, but it's a fun way of doing it, and it works better if you work together with your friends. You can find the material list for the entire volcano and basalt farm in the description below, and without further ado, let me show you the inside of this hot and steamy volcano and show you how the basalt farm works. Let's go! When you first enter the volcano, you will get inside of the interior, which is a huge room that you can decorate any way you like and use any way you like. We've got a ceiling made out of basalt and magma blocks, which is kind of like the heart of the volcano. Now in the middle of this ceiling we have 4 columns of basalt coming down. This is the basalt coming from the basalt farm. If you move on top of this platform right here in the middle, we can mine away the basalt coming down once the farm is active. And any basalt that you don't pick up immediately gets collected in the barrel down here. When we make our way up the ladder, we get inside of the heart of the volcano, which is also decorated and contains not 1 but 4 basalt generators. To get the basalt generators going, you will need to mine away a few of the basalt in front of the observers that you can see, and you want to do this in a particular order, because once you dig away the basalt that's next to the blue ice block, it will start going, and we need to do it in a particular order to ensure that it keeps on going. Because if we do it like this, as you can see, it stops pretty much right away and you will need to start again. You want to mine away as much of the basalt underneath the pistons and obsidian in the middle as much as possible. This buys you more time to get down to the platform and start mining away the basalt that is coming down. Once you've mined away all of the basalt, ideally you want to start at the corner where you came up the stairs and dig away the basalt that's underneath the observer to your left next to the blue ice. Then run across the farm in a circle and dig away all of the other basalt blocks, and then jump down the hole right here and land in the water. Now the basalt farm is active and you can just mine away all of the basalt that you'll ever need. Because there are 4 generators, the basalt is coming down pretty quickly. So if you don't have access to a beacon with haste, you will not be able to keep up with all 4 columns, and I suggest that you focus on 2 of the columns, preferably the ones closest to the ladder, because that's the one with the observer on top of it that signals the pistons to move the basalt down. If you're playing with friends, you can all focus on your own column, or columns. To insta-mine basalt, you will need a beacon with at least haste 1. In that way, you'll be able to keep up with all 4 columns on your own, twice as fast. So again, this is maybe not the most efficient and most ideal way of farming basalt, but I think it's a very cool way to do it. And if you're playing with friends, it can be a very fun way to do it. You can use the volcano for a different reason as well. So if you don't like the basalt farm, but you do like the volcano, skip to the part in the tutorial where I'm building the volcano and make anything you like inside of it. Perhaps a nether portal, or make your base inside of this. Let me know in the comments below what you would build inside of this. Without further ado, let me show you first how a basalt generator actually works. Let's go! Now if you want to build a basalt generator, you start with a block of blue ice, and this needs to be blue ice, otherwise it doesn't work. Then on the other side, create a little pocket in which you can place a bucket of lava. The lava will flow towards the blue ice and it will turn into basalt. However, it doesn't work right now. You will need to put down a soul soil, not a soul sand, but a soul soil block down here. on top of the soul soil, basalt can form. There we go. Now every time when you remove the basalt, it will form a new one once the lava tries to flow towards the blue ice. So what we want to do is we want to push the basalt out of the way so that a new basalt can be formed. To do this, place a piston behind the basalt and place an observer on top of it. Then place a regular block on top of the piston and some redstone from the observer onto the block. Now when we remove the basalt, this will trigger the observer, which will trigger the piston. And it starts an infinite cycle of triggering the piston. In Java Edition, there is enough time for new basalt to form in between the pushes of the piston. So it will keep on going up until the max limit of the piston, which is 13 blocks. It does make a lot of noise this way though. So this will now just keep going until it has 13 blocks. There we go. Another one will form underneath the observer, but it cannot be pushed towards the front anymore, so it will fizzle out and will stop. Now this doesn't work in Bedrock like this, because the piston fires too fast for basalt to form. Place down a couple more blocks behind the redstone, then one block below right here, next to the ice. Place down redstone dust and place a repeater in between. Now the cycle for the piston to get triggered is a little bit longer. Now if you keep it like this, it will still continuously trigger. And if you add an extra tick to the redstone repeater, it goes a little bit slower. So you have a little bit more time in between the pushes for basalt to form. As you can see right here, when we set the repeater to 3 ticks, it seems to be going a little bit faster actually. So for now, I suggest that if you keep your basalt generator as basic as this one, set it to 3 ticks, both on Java and on Bedrock Edition. And if you keep it like this, all you will need to do is stand in front of it and dig away on the basalt. Do make sure that you collect everything before it despawns. Now this is not a very fast system, which is also why I included 4 basalt generators in the Volcano. This is however the basic concept of a basalt generator. So if that's all you came for, there you go. I'm now going to show you how to build this inside of the Volcano. Let's go! Here you can see the layout of the Volcano. The outer ring is made using a website called Donut Studios, not sponsored by them in any way, but I'll leave a link to it in the description. The inner circle is where we are going to create the basalt generators. From the middle, you want to build up 15 blocks using a temporary block. At this height, you want to create the circle that you can see on the ground. I'm making it out of dirt, but you can also make it out of basalt, which is easier later on when you're building the Volcano. If you're building this in survival, you probably want to create a way up and down this platform, for example by putting a water bucket at the side right here. Now in the middle, place down an obsidian block, and then we are going to create the 4 basalt generators. From this middle block, count 1 block to the side, and then on the 3rd block is where you want to place down your soul soil. So to the left of that, you place down your blue ice. Now to hold the lava, we are going to create a pocket out of obsidian. This is to make sure that we don't break the block accidentally and get lava flowing everywhere. Also, obsidian is an immovable block, so the piston will not be able to push the obsidian out of the way, and in that way prevent that lava flows everywhere. It's also a block that you don't break very fast, so you won't accidentally break it when operating the farm. Place down a piston behind and an observer on top, and then using basalt for example, create the redstone circuit behind the observer. I will set it to 3 ticks for now, but I'm going to test this out once everything is done to make sure that it works at 3 ticks. Don't add the lava just yet, because first we want to build the rest of the system before we activate this generator. We can now build one on the other side. We want to offset this, because the generator should not be pushing the basalt into each other. So at the other side we count 3 blocks out and 1 block to the left as well. Build the same generator using the same materials. Again, you can use furnaces if you don't have access to obsidian. Now if we would activate these generators, the piston will start pushing out basalt, but it will stop at the obsidian block on the other side. So this makes sure that it's not pushed out of the side of the volcano and stays within the limits of the basalt generator. Now you basically want to build 2 more generators on the other sides of this obsidian block in the middle. Also count 3 blocks out and 1 block to the side, where you will put down your soul soil. There we go. That's 4 basalt generators, all set to 3 ticks. We'll now create a system that pushes the basalt down into the volcano. For this you want to remove the temporary blocks around the central block in the middle and place down 2 more immovable blocks on top of it. So either obsidian or furnaces, for example. Create a little bit of space for yourself to work with. Connect pistons facing downwards to this pillar, 1 block above the piston that's pushing out the basalt from the generator. So you should place down 4 pistons in total on these locations. Note that they should be on the same level as the observer. After that, next to 2 of these pistons, place down an observer facing downwards. Or you could also place observers on the other corners, but if you do it like this, it will trigger the pistons too many times and it will get the system stuck. So what you want to do is you only want 1 observer and connect it to the rest of the pistons using redstone dust. Whenever the basalt generator in front of this observer is pushing out basalt, it will trigger all 4 of the pistons. Now in Bedrock Edition this works a little bit differently. You will need an observer in each corner. And on top of these observers you want to place down a block. Then on each of the pistons you want to place down a redstone dust. In this way, whenever a basalt block is pushed out of the basalt generator, 2 pistons are fired at once. Moving on, in Java Edition, place down some stairs so that you can easily walk from generator to generator. This is necessary because we want to kickstart the basalt generators by deleting the basalt next to the lava. Before we are going to test out the system, we need to create a way up and down to the platform. For this, find a suitable spot where you can easily jump down after you've kickstarted the generators, and choose a place where you can create a ladder when going up to the platform. Make your way down, stand underneath the hole you made to get down, and place down a water bucket here. This ensures that you have a safe landing each time you jump down. And then create a way up for yourself using ladders and a basalt column. There we go. Time to test out the system. Place down buckets of lava in each of the obsidian pockets and close it off using an obsidian block next to the observer. You want to do this quickly and make your way down to make sure that it works. Now it's currently going pretty slow and it actually looks like it's going too slow. and that the basalt has formed next to the lava without being pushed out. So setting the system to 3 ticks in Java edition seems to not work. Yeah, for some reason it keeps the piston extended. That's a bit strange. It does this for each of the generators, so let's try again when the repeater is not set to 3 ticks. Okay, so I have been testing this system out a bit, and in Java at least, it seems that you just need to set it to 0 ticks. In that way, it seems to work perfectly, which in my opinion is a little bit strange, because when I was building the basic generator, it needed to be set to 3 ticks. So it's a little bit erratic sometimes, but for now I'm going to set each of the repeaters to 0 ticks and see if that works. Now you can add lava to all of the other generators and test out the system with all 4 working. Note that the first time you're adding the lava, it's probably not going to work correctly, because you won't be fast enough for the system to keep up. There we go. Let's delete the basalt. That's 2, 3, 4, and jump down. And there we go, we can see it coming down already. It seems that one of the generators is actually not working. I don't know why that is, but as with any farm, you will want to test it out and see for yourself what works and what doesn't work. Let's test it out in survival using a diamond pickaxe. Now, using a diamond pickaxe, it seems that the basalt columns are coming down pretty fast and that we're definitely not able to keep up. So the generators will fizzle out quite fast actually. After half a stack it seems. Let's try again with an efficiency 5 pickaxe. Okay, that goes a lot faster, and it seemed to fizzle out at around 1.5 stack this time. One of the reasons why it fizzles out so fast is because we are standing a little bit too low. And what we want to do is we want to create a collection system that's a little bit higher so that we can reach a little bit higher, meaning that we have more time before the system fizzles out. Create a platform using hoppers. Place down an output barrel in the floor below, then create a little platform out of hoppers. And surround it with Blackstone, some Blackstone Stairs, and some Blackstone Slabs around and on top of the hoppers. Now we can mine the basalt at a platform that's a little bit higher. You will now be able to keep up with the basalt columns coming down much easier, and I've tested it out and you should be able to keep up with at least 3 columns. Always make sure that you focus first on the column that's behind the Kickstarter, which is the one with the observer in front of it. Because as long as that one keeps going, the rest can keep going as well. Until they fizzle out, that is. That's pretty much the functional part of this build. I'm now going to focus on how to build the volcano. So, let's go. So the first step will be to make sure that while you're building the volcano, you won't get bothered by hostile mobs. So you want to light up the place. And then you want to fill in the floor using a combination of smooth basalt, regular basalt and some blackstone. You want to fill in the entire circle. Next you want to make the decision on which side you are going to make your entrance. We are going to make the entrance out of basalt columns and we are going to make it look a little bit irregular, pretty much because it looks cool. There's no real function to that. You can fiddle around a little bit with this and there's not really a bad way to do it. Just make sure that you end up with something that looks at least a little bit like this. Next, if you've created the basalt generators on top of a dirt platform or some other temporary block, I suggest that you switch that out for basalt at this point, if you haven't already. So the next step is to work on the shape of the volcano. Make your way to one of the sides, get to the middle, so that's next to this column. Then we are going to start with a layer of coarse dirt. We will then place 3 blocks of moss. After the moss, go up 1 level and place down 3 mossy cobblestone blocks, like this. Go up another level and place down 4 cobblestone blocks in the shape of the annoying Tetris block. Go up another level and place down regular stone, 3 blocks. And then another 4 blocks, like this. We are then going to grab tuff blocks and build up from here 4 blocks and another 4 blocks behind it. Then grab your smooth basalt, build up another 3 layers and then place down blackstone behind the basalt, which is the top of the volcano. And looking at this from a distance, I think it needs 1 block more, so that would be 5 in total. Now if you look at this from a distance, you can clearly see a cone shape and there's a gradient going from the regular grass and moss through mossy cobblestone, stone, tuff and eventually the black and fiery blackstone. Do this for all sides so that you have the basic shape of the volcano. And then we are going to start with a pretty time-consuming part of the build, which is filling in the entire volcano with its basic shape. So place down 2 coarse dirt all around this circle that you created, then 3 moss blocks, build up a couple of layers of mossy cobblestone, regular cobblestone, stone, tuff, smooth basalt and eventually blackstone. Now don't worry if it's not a perfect cylindrical cone. Eventually it's going to look a little bit broken down and, as I like to call it, organic. So it's not meant to be perfectly round. Of course, this doesn't look like a pretty volcano yet. It's just the basic shape. We are still going to work a lot on this, so don't worry for now. Once you've filled in the outer layer of the volcano, go inside and connect the platform that you created to the side of the volcano using basalt. And then you can work on the heart of the volcano by creating basalt columns of irregular length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks of length, all around the central column that's coming down from the basalt generators. You can put in some magma blocks here and there. This really gives it the feeling as if it's very hot up there. Next, we will also fill in the entire inside of the volcano using a combination of smooth basalt, regular basalt and blackstone. This again takes quite some time, but it adds a lot to the atmosphere of the build, so I highly recommend doing this. After you've filled in all of the walls, you can create basalt columns coming down all the way from the ceiling to the floor. Otherwise it's a little bit too perfectly round in my opinion. And after you're satisfied with that, you can dig some blocks out of the floor on the sides of the volcano and fill these with lava. You can surround the lava with a couple of magma blocks to give it the illusion that it's really hot here. And you can add some steam to the lava by digging down a block underneath the lava and place a campfire there. The smoke of the campfire comes through the lava, really giving it a hot and steamy vibe. You can hang dripstone from the ceiling and from the floor upwards all around the interior of the build. And if you dig down 2 blocks in the floor, you can place down campfires here as well, so that not only steam is coming out of the lava, but also out of the floor. Just make sure that you don't fall in, because that's gonna hurt. Of course, don't forget to light up the place, because you don't want hostile mobs spawning in here. The lava should take care of that, but just to be sure, and to give it the feeling that this volcano has been conquered by you, you can light up the place using some lanterns, for example on top of Blackstone walls. Now I think that this already looks pretty epic, at least from the inside. Back to the outside. You want to blend in the volcano into the landscape. So you want to extend the coarse dirt a little bit into the regular grass blocks that are around in a Minecraft world. And you want to mix it into the moss as well. You also want to mix in the moss towards the coarse dirt. And a little bit into the mossy cobblestone. Basically what I'm trying to say is that you want to blend in each layer that you build into the one below and on top of it. With the moss, for example, you can use a little bit of bone meal to create some extra features and make it look a little bit more irregular. Using stair blocks and slabs, you can blend in the mossy cobblestone into the regular cobblestone and the moss below. And you can do this with each layer. So you can use stairs, walls and slabs out of cobblestone to blend it into the regular stone. And you can do that for the regular stone and the tuff as well. Now you want to blend in the entrance a little bit more into the volcano, because right now it feels like it's a basalt entrance unattached. So use some basalt to really make it blend into the volcano. And you just want to make your way all the way to the top of the volcano like this. For basalt you don't have access to stairs and slabs, so just use regular blocks to make it blend into the blackstone a little bit. And then when you get to the top of the volcano, place down some hay bales with campfires on top. This extends the smoke that comes from these campfires. Then fill in the floor with, for example, blackstone. Place some extra lava sources in this blackstone floor, because when you're operating the basalt generators, the lava will drip onto the generators, which is a pretty cool effect and really gives you the feeling that you're working inside of the heart of the volcano. Once you've placed down a couple of lava sources and some extra campfires, place down lava sources on top of each of the campfires. This should fill in the entire floor with lava, and because some campfires are higher than others, you get this bubbling effect. Finish the top of the volcano by making the blackstone a little bit irregular as well. And you can work some obsidian, and if you have access to it, crying obsidian into the top of the volcano to really finish it off. Now you could leave it like this, or if you're still feeling like adding a little bit more detail, you can add a lava stream coming from the top of the volcano all the way down towards the entrance. Line it out using some blackstone. You can add a blackened pillar in the middle of this magma flow to really give it the feeling that it's burning its way through the mountain all the way down towards the surface. Some final details on the outside of the volcano are to add some vegetation around, so add some leaves and some vines on the side of the volcano. Because if you didn't know, lava and magma, when it cools down, is actually one of the most fertile types of soil that's out there. So it's not a crazy thing to add a lot of vegetation around. There's not really that much more to talk about right now, so I'll just let the time lapse go all the way around so that you can get a good look on the entirety of the volcano. The final thing that you can do is also decorate the top part of the volcano where you operate the basalt generators by also creating an irregular basalt column ceiling. Leave some space where the lava is dripping through from the top. Light the place up using some lanterns hanging from chains, for example, and add some magma blocks to create a little bit of extra light if you're using a shader like I am. Now you can spend a lot of time on this or don't, whatever you like. And again, if you don't want to create a basalt generator but would like a volcano to call, for example, your home, there's a lot of space to build, a lot of space to fill in. So enjoy. And that's it for me. I'm just gonna stay here and operate my basalt generator for a while. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by leaving a like. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. And stick around, consider subscribing. World downloads are available for YouTube members and patrons, so check out that in the description. And if you need any help on one of my builds, you can join our Discord server, where we have a help channel with over 1,000 people to help you out. Thanks again for watching, have a great day, and see you in the next one. Cheers!